We can build speed and reduce tension in our guitar playing if we practice the right way. That's what I'm going to show you in today's video, alongside the perfect exercise to work on if you want to get more better at it. Check it out. Hey there kids, and welcome to a brand new installment of Weekend Wank Shop here with your good buddy, Uncle Ben. You know guys, I get a lot of emails, DMs, and telepathic messages from desperate people saying things like, I just can't manage to play fast enough, my hands are too tense whenever I play, the pets, they're catching on fire again, and lucky for you and your pets, I've got the solution. And it's a good thing, because long-term playing fast with a bunch of tension in your arm hands leads to your pets catching on fire. People are saying it. And I'm saying that people are saying it. This two-string alternate picked exercise in the neighborhood of E minor is exactly what you need if you want to build speed while reducing tension in your playing, and you're gonna get even more out of it if you sign up today over on my Patreon page, patreon.com/Ben Eller Guitars. Why would you do that, you ask? Well, Virginia, let me tell you. If you sign up there, even for just $1 a month, you're gonna get access to tons of bonus goodies, including the backing tracks that I made to go along with this video and the guitar profiles. That way you can build your perfect practice session and slowly ramp up that speed until you're the next Shreddy Krueger. You're also gonna get downloadable tabs and hundreds of exclusive posts, so don't delay. Sign up today over at patreon.com/Ben Eller Guitars. Thanks. Gear-wise, I'll be playing my good old Ibanez RG550 today with the Fishman Fluence pickups. Holy moly. I thought I hated active pickups until I started playing these Fishman Fluence Classics that I have in this guitar. Absolutely awesome sound. And I'm playing that through the Fractal Audio Axe FX 3. Let's check out that workout again at stepdad speed. Yeah, let's get the party started because I know your mitts are tired and your pets are exhausted from being on fire as a result of that. So, what we're going to do is to start off here on the D and G strings, although I recommend taking this workout to other string pairs as well. You can start off from the E note on the A string, E note on the B string, or even try it with different scales or whatever. It's good to get experience on all those different string pairs, but we're going to start off here on the D and G strings. Here's how the first figure sounds. So on the D string here, I played up those notes of the E minor scale twice. So it's a total of 6 notes that we're going to cram into one beat as a sextuplet. Triplet, triplet. Kind of cramming all 6 of those over one beat. On the next string, we played this figure. So you'll notice that was the lowest note, the highest note, and then we walk down. Popular 4-note phrase to play on a string. We're going to span those 4 notes across one beat as well. Those are 16th notes. So we're going from cramming 6 into a beat to 4 in a beat. Then we're going to move up a position here in the scale and start off here on the F sharp note. Nice symmetrical fingering using 1, 2, and 4 here. Move up here to the G note on fret 5. Big wide stretch. I recommend using that middle finger there for the second note. Then go to the A note. This is where the fingerings are going to become asymmetrical. Move up to the B, another asymmetrical pattern. Then we're going to go to C here on the D string. D. And then E, an octave above where we started. So far we're going to have this. My astute and long-term viewers may remember this back from Weekend Wank Shop 230, which was over 5 years ago. I came across that video recently and I really enjoy this workout, this exercise here. Only back then I wasn't doing guitar profiles and all kinds of cool stuff on my Patreon, so I figured it'd be a good time to update this one because it still rocks. But in the name of progress, I also extended and enhanced this exercise by doing this descending portion as well to help you guys creep down the neck. What we're going to do is to invert everything. The 6-note burst is going to take place on the G string, and the 4-note burst is going to take place on the D string. Same positions and everything, we're just walking it that way and backwards. So you could say this is kind of the reverse cowgirl, Missy Elliott flip it and reverse it version of what you just played. So the last thing you played was this. Stay in that position and stay on the G, and this time we're going to walk up the G twice and then go to the D. So it's just an inversion of what you just played. Next, move down here to starting off on the G, F sharp, From there, you're just going to restart the exercise with the practice tracks on Patreon and just walk it back up and down the neck a couple more times. But why is it that we should practice this way, and what benefit does it have for us? Well, I'm about to tell you. Just give me a second. Okay, whenever we're doing this, we're going from having it in 6th gear to 4th gear. Little increases in speed followed by decreases in speed. What I recommend doing is using the practice tracks or the guitar profiles for this exercise, which you can find on my Patreon page. I recommend finding a tempo where those 6-note blasts are just starting to push you a little bit. Not like I'm falling asleep behind the wheel, this is so easy to do, but also not I'm hanging on by a thread, I can barely do this. Try to find a speed that just barely pushes you a little bit. Whenever you find that, it's going to mean that the 4-note burst is probably nice and in control for you. You're going to be like close to the edge for that, and then really relaxed for that right there. Now, whenever you back it down to 4th gear, I want you to try to notice if there's any changes in your playing, in your body, in your pets, whatever it is that you're looking for here. Because a lot of us, whenever we practice exercises that are just non-stop, you know, hauling ass through 16th notes or 16th note triplets or whatever, we can play and play and play and play and not even notice that we're building tension, or that maybe we're doing something different than we were when we were playing at a relaxed, fluid tempo. This could be anything from gripping the neck harder, you know, pushing harder with the thumb or the fingers on this side. It could be picking harder, changing the grip on the pick, for example. One thing that I struggled with for a really long time is whenever I would start to play fast, I would tense up a little bit, and that would change the angle of my pick like this. There's nothing wrong with having like a little bit of a 45-degree angle like that, but mine was going like vertical. You can see the big bump in my thumb right there. And what that was doing to my playing was making it sound really scratchy. Just terrible. I couldn't figure it out. I played nice and smooth whenever I was playing slow. Then I'd start playing fast and I'd be like, it was terrible. But it wasn't until I started practicing with speed bursts where I could go back and forth between my fast playing and my more relaxed playing. That I started to notice that every time I was blasting off into 6th gear, I was adding in that bump of the thumb. It was wrecking my playing. But whenever you practice with speed bursts like this, rather than just full-on speed, you can take notice of those little changes that you're making. I want you guys to really concentrate and see if you're breathing the same way. This is a big thing that a lot of players struggle with, and they have no idea. A lot of players hold their breath whenever they play fast, or they exhale really hard whenever they're doing something that is difficult. I want you guys to see if you're maintaining your breathing, because you're supplying oxygen to everything that your body is using. That's probably pretty important, right? You want to keep that nice and fluid and consistent no matter what speed you're playing. So as you're playing this stuff, be sure to really monitor your oxygen intake. I swear to you, it makes a huge difference. A second ago, I played that on a static power chord without any of the scalar fingerings going on. That's a great way to practice this if you're really wanting to work on your right hand. That way you're not worrying about the left hand fingerings or anything here. You can just mash down a power chord, palm mute it, and focus on getting those rhythmic subdivisions correct. 6 across the first beat, 4 across the second beat. You know, a weird thing that I started doing years ago that helped me start playing faster and more accurately is counting my downstrokes. Whenever I'm playing through all those notes, especially those 6s that go by really fast, it can be really hard to count down, up, down, up, you know, and make sure I'm doing the picking correctly. But if I'm really only focusing on the downstrokes, I can count 3 of those pretty quick. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And whenever I'm doing the 4-note groups, I can count 2 of those really easily. So I'm kind of feeling this as downstrokes only, if that makes sense. I'm keeping the pick like buried in the strings, but I'm not counting every note. That's way too fast. I'm just worrying about the downstrokes. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, like that, if that makes sense. It's a great way to help keep these things grouped together and help you stay on track even at higher tempos. I swear to you guys, practicing with speed bursts is the way to build speed with your guitar playing. Maybe you can't play full tilt, you know, sextuplets at 100 BPM. That's 600 notes a minute. That's so much. Maybe you can't play up and down a scale that fast, and that's discouraging you, and you're like, oh, this speed is off limits for me. That's not true. You can probably do a few. You just can't play non-stop 600 notes a minute yet. But I bet you can dip your toes in the water. And these exercises with the burst of speed are the perfect way to get acclimated to playing at higher tempos without overclocking your mental CPU and setting your pets on fire, as we mentioned. This is a common side effect, unfortunately. So practicing with these bursts of speed, I swear to you, it's gonna be the way to get your hands in sync, keep your picking relaxed, and super accurate. There's a whole bunch of other speed burst exercises here on my channel. Just search Ben Eller speed burst, and I'm sure it's gonna pull up at least 6 or 7 different ones. I recommend all of them. Check them out. Let me know what it does for your playing. I'm sure that it's gonna be fantastic, and Fido will thank you. Yeah, let me give you guys a couple of tips here for both arm hands as we're going up and down this workout. For the picking hand, one thing I want you guys to focus on is always starting every string off with a downstroke. Make a good, solid, strong connection with your downstroke on the first note that you play on every string. Accenting that downbeat like that will help you learn how to play with dynamics and groove and stay right on top of the beat. It's a good way to make sure that you're really connecting with the downbeat in your phrasing and not just randomly playing fast and slow. The scientists, they're not exactly sure what the correlation is yet between tense shredding and the pets being on fire, but they think it might have something to do with this element, so be sure to pay really close attention to tagging that downbeat with a hard downstroke every time you change strings. Somebody out there is going to be tempted to economy pick this. This is also why I recommend practicing with that strong downstroke, is to avoid that. Nothing wrong with economy picking, that's just not what this is for. So especially whenever you're coming off of that G string, I know somebody up there is going to be really tempted to come off of that upstroke with another upstroke to restart the exercise like that. I don't know. I can't stop you from doing it, but I just wouldn't. That's not really what this exercise is built around, although there's plenty of great economy picking workouts here on my channel and my Patreon page. Whenever you get up to higher tempos, the position shifting is going to get more tricky for the left hand. I recommend on your way up, trying to have your eye on the next fret that you're going to before you get there. So in other words, while you're here in the second position, by the time you get to that last note, try to have your eyes set on that 4th fret D string. So I'm not looking here, I'm looking here. I'm looking to where I'm going. That's going to make me make that position shift a little bit more accurately and help you get that first finger where it needs to be. Now on the way down, this can be challenging because the first finger is having to leap down the neck from a note on the G string to a note on the D string. That's tricky, and again, I recommend doing the eyeball thing. Always look at the fret that you're going to next, hold your vision there, and jump down into your range of vision. That's a good way to do it. There's another position shifting thing I came across by accident while practicing this that I want to show you guys too. Check this out. Did you see that? I'm not shifting positions off of the first finger. I'm shifting positions off of the finger that I played before the first finger. The second to last note, I guess that'd be a more human way to say that. So whatever the last finger you used was, shift that down and it'll put you in position every time. I've played these patterns so many times, I find myself not really using that, but it might work for you. So give it a shot. So there you go, guys, a great speed burst exercise to help you become a better shredder in no time. I assure you, speed bursts are the way, the truth, the light of the Shredi Knight. And if you practice them, you can too. Did that make sense? Anyway, get all the goods over on the Patreon page, patreon.com/Ben Eller Guitars, even for as little as $1 a month. $1 a month. You spend way more money than that on, Pop-Tarts from the gas station or whatever, so you might as well invest in your future as the next Shredi Kruger and sign up today. I'll see you guys over there. That's where you're going to get the tabs, the practice tracks, and the guitar profiles. So don't delay. Sign up today. Thanks as always for watching. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell for notifications every time I upload a new slice of fried gold. Now grab your guitar, get into it, and get this thing down. Less clicking, more picking.